Hello, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Aboagye and I create content on studying abroad. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to write a research proposal. And this video is actually because we looked at, if you've not seen that video, I advise you go do that. We looked at the Eth Zurich Excellence Scholarship, and one of the requirements was to write a pre-proposal or a proposal. And I'd already promised you that I was going to make a simple video to help you write the proposal. A proposal is also very important, especially if you want to apply to UK and Australian universities. Sometimes they do ask you to write a proposal. For people with low GPA, I also advise that you write a proposal when you are submitting your documents or attach it to your code email. It's an avenue to show your research experience. So without wasting much time, let me show you what you need to do. So for the start, I will show you an outline of a proposal. Then I'm going to show you a proposal one candidate used to get this Eth Zurich scholarship. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to go through certain portions or parts of it. I can also share that document with you if you are interested. Just let me know in the comment section. So without wasting much, let's dive right into it. So if you want to write a proposal, the first thing is to decide on your topic. What topic do you want to write on? So this will be the topic. You can do something simple like this, very easy, or you could do it in the form of like when you're writing reports. There's really no fixed rule on what you want to do. Just make it your style, but it's important that the important elements are there. So you need a title. So that will be the alternate for it. So that will be your title, your name and the date. Your name, whether you could add the date or not, is up to you. Then the first thing is the introduction. For your introduction, you need to give background or overview, the topic you want to write on. What do we need to know about it? What has already been said about that topic? Give us a background information why you want to choose that topic. So once you establish that, the next thing is to establish a problem statement. And what should this entail? This should entail what problem you want to solve. Your research you want to do, what is the main problem or what is the main challenge that you want to solve. In this section, you could also add the research questions. That's like, okay, this and these are my research questions. Or you could also break it down into another section where you talk about the research questions. Now let's look at the hypothesis. So what is the hypothesis? Like an example of an hypothesis could be, not every research statement, research or thesis has an hypothesis, but if you do have it included, an example is so the hypothesis could be eating an apple a day will keep the doctor away. That would be a hypothesis. So this is what you want to test. You want to see if indeed it's true that if you eat an apple a day, the doctor will be kept away. So your objectives will be, what are your clear research objectives? To study the effect of eating an apple a day, or to find out how eating an apple a day would keep the doctor away. So something related to the hypothesis will be your research objectives. The objectives at the end of your research, you should find answers to those objectives. So your justification is, why do you think this research is important? And this could help in like preventive healthcare, because if you know that if you eat an apple a day, you do not need to see the doctor. People will just have to eat an apple. It also creates an awareness of the importance of eating apples. So that will be your justification. Literature review is basically the work that has been done or has been done on the topic already. And what is the gap? So maybe there's been a lot of work on like the food, the dietary, how dietary helps improve your health over the overall well-being, but there's been a gap of the actual effect of eating apples. So this could be the gap, and this is what your research wants to answer. One thing you should always have in mind is that the work you want to do, it's research, so it shouldn't be work somebody has done already. It should be work that you want to build on. Your methodology is, how do you want to carry out this experiment? So for this, it could be like you could have two groups of people. One group will be eating apple, the others will not eat apple, and you will test their frequency of visiting a doctor or a hospital. So the timeline is the duration. This is very important. For this, you need to check the program you want to apply. and to know the duration you're allowed to do the research. Is it 1 year? Is it 6 months? Is it 2 years? So you prepare a timeline based on that. So maybe I'll use 2 months to do literature review. I'll use 2 months to do data collection. So this is what you have to do with a timeline. So conclusion, it's a proposal. So you could summarize everything you've said, why it's important and what you aim to achieve, and the references for your literature review. For you talk about what people have done and you need to cite them. It's very important to cite them all. Decide on the style you want to use. You can use APA, you could use IEEE. Just look online for styling or bibliography reference and do that and use that. So before, I'm gonna show you an example, as I promised you, of somebody who won this scholarship and the proposal he submitted. So this is how he submitted in the form of a report. For personally, I prefer to submit in the form of an article like I showed you, but it's always up to you to decide. Choose what works for you. So he had the topic carbon dioxide capture and storage in the Voltane Basin of Ghana. And this was his table of contents. This was how he made it. So I will not really talk about the introduction. This is whatever you want to do. I've already discussed. And like there are little things I'll just point out to help you when you're writing yours. So something like carbon dioxide. When you write it in Excel, you could just just highlight it, and you could choose this option, the subscript. So you see, it gets it in the right format. So these are just little things to make your work look nicer. Then he came along with his justification. So the justification, basically the project, as he said, was carbon dioxide capture. So they want to capture carbon dioxide, CO2, and they want to store it in the Voltane Basin of Ghana. So that is basically what he wants to do, to capture. CO2 is it's a climate change problem. It's not good for global warming, so that's why he wants to do it. So it's more of a sustainability and a climate change problem he wants to solve. So the justification for this project stems from both its medium and long-term benefits of helping to deal with climate change, as I already told you, through sustainable extraction and utilization of fossil fuels. Some of these benefits include to help develop a comprehensive geomechanical and geochemical model of the Voltane Basin. So this was where he ended. I added this, so the things in red, are things I just added to make your sentences more complete. So why do you want to do this? To accurately assess the potential for carbon dioxide sequestration. So this is why it's very important. So to make it more complete. And the second one was to serve as a guide for similar intended carbon sequestration projects in Africa and the world as a whole. So he thinks this project is good because once he finishes it will provide a footprint for other carbon sequestration projects in Africa, which is actually good. So he justified the reason why he thinks this should be done. Okay, I missed it. So the problem statement was there's a lot of extraction of hydrocarbons in African countries. He gave an example, and because they're extracting a lot of hydrocarbons, it's actually releasing a lot of carbon dioxide into the environment, which I said causes global warming. So and they are doing this through the gas flaring and release of industrial refinery waste into the atmosphere. So this is the problem he wants to solve, that there's a lot of carbon dioxide in the environment. I keep on repeating myself, but just to drive home a point. So therefore, it's very necessary to find alternative means of isolating large volumes of carbon dioxide. So when they produce this carbon dioxide, instead of it going into the environment, which is not good, he feels that it's important to find ways and means to store this carbon. And one of such ways to store this carbon is the Voltane Basin of Ghana. Because of its lateral extent, about 40% of the land area of Ghana, well, I didn't know this, thick bed of sediment and favorable stratigraphy for carbon dioxide sequestration. So I think this is a very solid problem statement. He stated the problem, he stated why this is a problem, he stated his solution and why he thinks that that solution is good. So I think it's a solid problem statement. Then the purpose and objectives, I will not really go into that, but these are his objectives. So the methodology was where I had a little bit of suggestions to give. So I intend to carry out the following activity during my research. I'll just talk about structural mapping of some portions of the basin. So this, I would have added the software or tools or how they want to do this, which will it shows that you know what you actually want to do. So field and laboratory geotechnical and geophysical tests is too broad, yeah, in existing deep boreholes within the basin in order to determine the geomechanical properties of the rock. So this would have been good to talk about the names of the actual tests you want to perform and the names of the tools you are going to use to perform these things. So chemical analysis of rocks and pore fluids, using what techniques, how do you want to do this? Develop an analytical software. So all I want to say is with the methodology, whatever you want to do, is important that if there are tools, there are techniques, be specific and talk about those techniques. You also added an option of possible available rates, which I think is also really great. And he concluded, the references, you do not see it because I do not have the sources of the references, but he did. So he did cite, when he talked about, he cited his references. Wilson 1992, Bao et al. 2014. He cited his references, which are really good, so they'll all come under references. I will advise that you also include a timeline to it. So as I said, if you want a copy of this, let me know. I'm going to share with you. I think I'm also going to make another video of another research proposal, just the template, then we can discuss it. So I'm wishing you all the best. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, this will be a great time to subscribe. If you have questions, leave it in the comment section and I'll do my best to help you. So till you hear from me again, bye.